Calgary Police Service Economic Crimes Unit has concluded an operation into an organized crime group responsible for the use of counterfeit credit cards, stolen credit card data, identity theft, and identity fraud. Following reports of numerous frauds used to obtain merchandise, prepaid credit cards, and acquiring vehicles from car rental companies, the Economic Crimes Unit began a 6-month-long investigation. During the investigation, the Calgary Police Service Airport Unit was alerted by airport staff on Thursday, October 22nd, 2015, that 3 individuals were suspected of attempting to rent a vehicle using a stolen credit card. A search of the individuals led to the discovery of forged credit cards, forged government issue identification cards, and altered cards containing stolen credit card data. Officers also located property and $1,063 in cash. The 3 individuals were interviewed and 2 were charged. Lawrence Culajara, 24 of Calgary, has been charged with 6 fraud-related charges. He will next appear in court on Thursday, December 10th, 2015. Misty Nicole McMaster, 29 of Calgary, has been charged with 5 fraud-related charges. She will next appear in court on Thursday, December 10th, 2015. Following the arrest at the airport, a search warrant was executed on Friday, November 6, 2015 at a residence in the 300 block of Mid-Lake Boulevard Southeast. As a result of the search warrant, investigators seized a credit card embosser machine, numerous counterfeit, forged, and modified credit cards, credit card data, 4.1 grams of crystal meth, a replica semi-automatic handgun, and a stolen Chrysler 300. 2 additional people were charged following the execution of the search warrant. Investigators believe all parties charged were working together to commit fraud. Vivencio Antonio, 30, of Calgary, has been charged with 3 counts of fraud-related charges, 1 count of possession of a controlled substance. He will next appear in court today. Stephanie Paul, 27, of Calgary, has been charged with 2 counts of motor vehicle theft, 5 fraud-related charges, 1 count of possession of a controlled substance, and a breach of a recognizance. She also appears in court today. The Economic Crimes Unit would like to thank numerous financial institutions, vehicle rental agencies, and other police agencies across Canada for assistance in this investigation. Any questions?
How, not broad, but prolific is this supposed ring?
This supposed ring is actually quite prolific. They're centered out of Calgary, however, have been in operation in other provinces, including Saskatchewan, British Columbia, and Manitoba.
Do you have any way of knowing how many people may have been victimized in terms of loss of credit card or identity theft?
You know what? It's a very difficult thing for us to be able to determine the number of victims in relation to this. To date, the investigation, we've confirmed that there are 2 individuals whose identities have been stolen. We have upwards of 50 plus additional identities that we are looking at. That investigation is ongoing. One of the things that sets this apart is that the group was using an algorithm to create credit card numbers and data, and then would go out and use the credit card numbers. So the banks or the credit card companies would specifically be the victims versus an actual victim.
So it may or may not have been an actual person?
That's
that card?
That's correct. So it was credit card data that was used. They test them out and they find out good credit cards to use. They then create credit cards based on that and go out and make the fraud purchases.
You mentioned that there was some meth seized in the house. Were these people crystal meth users? And is it very common for meth users to be involved in this particular type of crime?
What I will say is that the trend we are seeing nowadays is that all of this type of crime is interrelated. With the amount of meth that was seized from that residence, it would be indicative that they would be users. They are also doing auto theft. So when you talk about the rental cars that they were renting, so they go out, they maybe do a car prowling or a break and enter. In some instances, we're seeing that they found person's identity or credit card information at a casino. They take that information, go back to the lab, create the credit card and potentially some identification to go with it, and then they're going out and doing a contract on a rental car company and getting that car. They then take those cars and they're using those vehicles to facilitate other crimes. For example, the shoplifting and credit card spends on the false credit cards. And then they're selling that all on Kijiji or to buyers around the city. It's all intertwined. One of the messages we want to for sure get out there is that it is intertwined. Vehicles are a commodity, so protect yourself. If you keep your keys on your person and not in your vehicle, limit the access to your vehicle. Don't leave personal information inside of your vehicle. This will help stymie that piece of how they're going about and getting those credit cards and identities.
So if they were renting.
Did you say the algorithm allowed them to create valid credit card numbers?
Yeah, so there's an algorithm that most criminals are using to create credit card numbers, and then the last four of the number they have to play with in order to validate it, and then they use those created credit card numbers to go out and do the fraud purchases.
Sorry, I just thought of it. So if they've been doing this, renting cars and doing all this, was there something different about why they got suspected this time, or was it just sort of an unaware clerk?
Right, so I did thank partners from other provinces in this. So what happened in relation to this investigation is we received information from a Saskatchewan police service that put us onto this group, and our investigation has been going on for some time. In relation to the actual rental car company that the initial file that I spoke about at the airport, it was in relation to a very switched on clerk that brought it to the attention of the police service at the airport and allowed us to start that piece of the investigation, but that is only one piece of this entire investigation.
This isn't specific to this particular crime, but maybe specific to the unit. Are you seeing more crimes perhaps caused by sort of working addicts who have lost jobs? Is there a way to get at that?
You know what? I don't have anything that can correlate that right now. What I will tell you is that as far as the auto theft side of it and the fraud side of it, that increase or that continual perpetration of those types of crime, we're not linking at this time to the decrease in, you know, funds available and jobs lost, but very much is interrelated and associated to organized crime, drug use, and the whole gambit of it. Does that answer your question?
Just wondering if people who might, you know, be addicted, who had jobs and don't now, maybe turning to crime to pay for those.
I don't have anything to support that.